What's up, dreamers? It's your little big sister Candy, and today I just want to talk to you a little bit about Juneteenth that is coming up. So June 19th is Juneteenth, and I'm hoping that you all know what that day means. I'm not here to do a history lesson, I'm just here to kind of talk to you. So, what does that day mean to you? I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you are at in this world. Just what does that day mean to you? That part of history. What does that mean? You guys, we got a lot of stuff going on out here in this world. It's crazy. And I believe that once we can start acknowledging what's happening, then we as a collective, as people, can progress and move forward, because we then start to see where it is that needs change in the structure, in the system. It's been this way in America for a very, very, very long time when it comes to the hierarchy and the construct and the white supremacy, and literally the fundamentals of America was built on shame and oppression. And with Juneteenth, it's a day of freedom. And how has that helped you now? Like from when everything started with our ancestors, and what they had to endure and what they had to go through, the physical things that they had to go through. You know what I mean? The last key component that we need to do is literally free our minds. We are still oppressed. We are still under, so many things that America has been built on. And it's time for us to realize that we don't have to be like that anymore. It's time for us as people to come together. Every race, every gender, everything. It is so time. But the thing about it is, we can't point fingers on what is happening out here. We need to literally come together. That is how we fix this, okay? No one else is going to fix this but us as people. And it's interesting to me because, I laugh because, it's called the United States. And this isn't me trying to talk bad about America or anything like that. This is me just spitting facts. You know what I mean? It's interesting to me how, it's called the United States, but we're so divided, and we're divided on purpose. We're divided because if we come together as people, that's America's worst fear. Honestly, that is America's worst fear, because then the people take back the power. You guys, this is a very big year for voting. Huge year. Your voice matters, okay? And I'm not here to tell you which side to choose. I'm not here to tell you, you know what I mean, how you should vote or anything, because both sides are needed. We need to care about the people, but we also need to care about the economics. But how can we integrate that? And we can't integrate that until we integrate that within ourselves. The left and the right, the masculine and the feminine, to do and to feel. Everything correlates. Everything correlates. So again, remember, as a macro, whatever is happening in a macro is happening in a micro. When you are going out there and you are going to go vote, do it with educate yourself on what it is that is happening right now, and choose the side that you feel that is going to help, for your life, because it matters. I keep hearing my voice doesn't count, my vote doesn't count. Yes, it does. They want you to think that your vote doesn't count, but people have died for that right. People have literally fought for that right to vote. So don't you waste it. Don't. It's seriously time for us to emancipate our minds. It's seriously time for us to really understand what it is that we are supposed to be doing. We are supposed to be rebuilding America. This takes me back to, I remember in 2020, I read this book. It was called the Willie Lynch book or story. It's literally 20 pages long. Wasn't even a long book either. And the book literally talks about how, Willie Lynch came and did a speech, and he literally sat there and was talking about how to condition a slave, you know. And he was talking about how like like you condition them, or they condition them like they're horses. You know, you take the man out of the home, and then, you know, the families had to watch the father get mutilated, which then put in fear. It instilled fear within them, because they didn't want, you know what I mean? Like, especially the mothers. The mothers didn't want anything to happen to the sons or the daughters. So if you think about that now, there's a lot of stuff that's still happening today and is not changed. Willie Lynch sat there and said, for 400 years, if you sit here and you know, take the man out of the home, and if you put if you put people against each other, like literally he sat there and said, you know, we know how it went. Lighter slaves were inside, darker slaves were outside. And look how that is today. Look how we still have colorism happening today. There's so much that we need to heal as people, as Black people, as a lot. But the problem is people get, what is that word that I want to say? People get like in their feelings because you know, when you get called out about what's happening. We cannot stay silent anymore. There's so much that needs to evolve, and we need to literally sit here and understand that our ancestors did not go through any of this for nothing at all. So when you think about Juneteenth, you know what I mean? Think about, yes, the history that came with it, the past, how so much was endured, the physical part. And think about today, all the rights that you have. Yes, could we have more? Of course, but we have to fight for them, but we have to fight for them together. So when you go out there and you're going to go vote, don't vote out of scarcity, because voting is very psychological. You know, if you keep hearing, you're going to get this taken away and you're going to get that taken away, how can anyone psychologically go to a voting poll and make the correct decision, regardless of what side that it's on, if they are voting out of fear? All this is not by accident. We need to start educating ourselves. We need to start understanding that, like, we have the power to change the trajectory of history. We have that innate power. It is within us. So as Juneteenth is approaching, think about the last key component of freedom, which is your mind. What does freedom mean to you? Define that. What does freedom mean to you? To me, freedom is happiness, but happiness costs, you know? And once we can literally sit there and understand that, you know, every change starts within first. It starts within. There's so many different dynamics that come with change, you know? It's epigenetic. There's so much that goes into, you know, change. This stuff is embedded within us. America has trauma. The earth has trauma. We all have generational trauma, literally. And it is time to heal it, or else history will keep repeating itself and repeating and repeating. No more division. No more, you know, no more of that. Get out there. Be the change that you want to see. Go join an organization, but when you do it, you cannot do any of this out of hate or anger. You have to come at this with a peace of mind of, you know, wanting something bigger, because we can't do any of this with the hate. The hate isn't what's going to help us. It's the love. It's the peace. It's the compassion. It's the forgiveness. All of that. Okay? So as Juneteenth is approaching, I just want y'all to kind of just think every day, not just for Juneteenth, yo, this is an everyday thing. This ain't just a one-time thing. This is an everyday thing, because this is everyone's history. I want to ask you, what does freedom mean to you? Think about that.